How we doing today, man? Somber and week this week, man. Good friend of mine named Chris just died, man. My understanding it was heart failure, man. He was telling me, man, he walk around with two beepers, man, trying to stay alive. It was an inside joke we did with each other. As I'm driving through the city of Philadelphia, man, I'm thinking about a lot of things on my mind, man. As you watch this episode with Dope Botanicals, you know, something we got to remember, man, as we out here and we being negligent and eating anything and everything we want, and sometimes we eating with our eyes and eating things we know we shouldn't, man. I just come out of a doctor's appointment, and they just told me I have a 17% chance of having a heart attack. Where most people, when you're living healthy, it's in between 5 to 10. So when I talk about health, and you see me out here trying to work out, or you see me doing things, it's because I know that, we all going to die one day. The question is how you want to live before you die. So I'm not here to preach to you about what you're eating and nothing like that, but you should really be mindful of what you're doing. Because believe me when I tell you, we're closer to the end and ain't no such thing as starting all over. So pay attention to this episode. Chris, it was a hell of a ride, homie. See you when I get there, man.
How we doing today, folks? Welcome to season 4 of Just Convos. Today I have the wonderful ladies of Dope Botanicals here. I have Nakia and Tyhera. Thank y'all for showing up.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
So, Dope Botanicals. Before we go into that, first I can get a little background on you. Disclaimer for the people. Nakia's best friend during high school and now through life was my girlfriend at the time. First time I seen Nakia, I was sitting on the porch reading some Muslim papers that was like on their porch, because that's how I was. I just was like an avid reader. And this is about 20 years ago. You might have been a baby. I don't know. You might have been walking outside.
I was little.
Yeah.
It's probably longer than that.
Yeah. It was quite some time
Crazy.
ago. But first thing I like to ask all the guests, you guys are products of the Philadelphia school system?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What schools did you go to? We can start at high school, for junior high, whatever works for you.
I went for middle school, I went to Pepper, and
Okay.
I graduated from Overbrook.
Okay.
I went to Harambe, and then I went to Saul.
So cutting
Yeah.
animals and stuff.
Animal
huh?
school.
Okay.
Yes.
You cut a couple animals. And
Yeah,
stuff.
I went to the
Okay,
animal
okay.
school.
And you went to Brook, the West Philly fashion
did.
capital. Okay.
The
Snazzy.
castle on the hill.
Castle on the hill.
Yeah.
It's like to shoot 'em uphill now, but I understand.
A lot different.
Yeah, a lot
A
different
lot
now. A lot different. Philadelphia, going in these schools, did it get you guys ready to be entrepreneurs as you come into your own as adults?
That's a good question. I don't know. I wouldn't say the school district did it.
No.
Right?
The point was, hold on. The point was, because you said that's a good question.
Yes.
They be hating on my questions.
Yes.
Because my questions are so
I
good.
figured that's what it was. That's why I was gonna
okay.
keep going. I don't know that school did it. I really can't say that. Outside of fostering a level of, I know school shouldn't feel like this, going to, I went to private school before public
Okay.
school,
Me
and
too.
it was a stark difference. It was completely different.
I mean, what private school?
I went to a small black private school that was really a concept. It was called the YMCA Academy. And then I went to Spruce Hill.
Okay.
We were not Christian, but I went to a Christian school.
That
So
happens.
you can imagine those conversations were very interesting,
And you
our dad
strong,
had a lot
strong
of
devout
experiments.
Muslim all your life, right?
Our dad had a lot of experience, a lot of experiments going on of, no, you can go, this will be good for you.
Just
But
setting you up.
set
for-
me up,
so you
set
mean
me
tell
up
me-
early, set me up early.
So you
your
was young and
debating
proud
skills.
and cussing them people out like, no, this is not what I do. This is my
Or,
God.
well, it was more like, that's interesting. That's not the perspective I have, but, so.
Did you ever argue with the adults?
Oh, always.
That's what I'm talking
I couldn't
about.
live if I ain't argue with the adults,
You still argue with
I
adults.
still would argue
Well,
with the
y'all
people,
adults now,
but
too,
Yeah,
it's
so it
part
don't
of it.
matter. It's just who
It
you
don't, that's true. That's true. But when you grow up with a dictionary in the back seat, you learn very early on.
I'm telling you, them books on your porch was like this thick.
You learn very early on the power of language,
Power of words.
your words, actions and deeds. So I feel like we come from entrepreneurship, right?
Okay.
Our grandfather was an entrepreneur,
Okay.
right? So his entrepreneurship story is inspiring. Our great grandfather was an entrepreneur, he owned his farm, no sharecropping.
Okay.
This was so
Where at?
in Virginia.
Oh wow.
So when you I think it's in you when you come from that, right? And then our father started his business.
Okay.
So I think it's there, you know. I don't think it was fostering from school outside of life experience. I thought, I know better. I could do better. I know better. And I certainly can't imagine waking up every day doing what somebody tells me to do. So I feel like that's the thing that furthers the ideas to take them out of our minds and make them become
Reality.
visible from invisible.
Okay.
For me, I don't think the Philadelphia school district prepares anybody for college. So for sure, not
That's
for,
for
Not
sure.
for opportunity.
like, yeah. So I don't think it prepares you for college at all.
Okay.
So, I mean, even like just going to school and people learned about stuff in high school that I was like, oh wow, y'all learned that. And I went to the magnet school, the special admittance.
Oh.
So I feel like there's a serious gap in the Philadelphia public school system for those things, just for getting people to think beyond
To
12th
school.
grade.
Okay, so that 1930s, 40s curriculum from the Rockefellers didn't do it for
No,
y'all.
not
No.
doing it. It's
That
Not
like
at all.
stimulate
not
you a
at
little
all.
No.
Even just for getting people to think beyond that. There's so many people I went to high school with that I know, given more opportunity or perspective, would be different places. So that's how I feel about that. But growing up, always seeing entrepreneurship, that prepared me,
Okay.
and always being around people who I was like, oh, they don't go to work like everybody else. They don't do the thing that everybody else do. Or, oh, I get to go somewhere midday, you know?
Okay.
It's not like that is what gave it to me, always being around it. But for sure not school.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you
School's
guys never
job is not education.
No, it's not. It's just
not.
getting you prepared
for another job.
for
Yeah.
another job in a factory system that don't exist no more. But now you just work a factory in your cubicle. So
Gotcha. So have you guys ever had jobs?
yeah,
You gotta
I-
think about it.
I
Jesus,
did.
Nikki.
I had,
I had a job in high school at the mall, and that's where I learned I could sell stuff real
that
good.
is true.
That's where I learned I could sell stuff, and I was a teacher for a little bit, and
Teaching
yeah.
in the public schools or another type
No,
of
at private school.
private schools?
Uh-huh.
How you like teaching?
It was cool. It was small people, the people I could handle.
Okay,
That's
okay,
it.
not the big people.
No,
No
you
time.
just gotta look at them real stern, and then they get scared. Nobody who was gonna cuss me out, cuss back, talk back, none of that.
You ain't never see that little
Not
kid?
them, not the little kids I was
Oh, I'm about
dealing
to
with.
say,
No,
you
not
know,
them
you know that
kids.
little kid
No,
on
not them
online.
kids.
No,
Shut
not
up.
I taught at a very affluent school. Them little kids, I
Okay.
could just look at them and they'd be like, "I'm
Y'all was on the
sorry."
same vibe.
Perfect.
So
Yep.
you went to private school too, like your sister, or you only went
No, I went to Harambe, which was a charter school. I
You
went,
had a distinction there.
huh? Oh
had a
yeah, it
distinction.
was only me and one other person. We went there first through 8th grade. We was the first kids to graduate there.
to? Okay.
So
okay.
Harambe was all centered around Black history, Black education. I didn't learn the white history and none of that stuff until high school.
Give me that.
yeah.
No, seriously, I never learned it, right? And not only did I never learn it till high school, I always knew it was a lie. So when I'm in world history, I'm learning about all these great Greek people. I start putting my feet up and they're like, "What's wrong with you, Mr. Hankins?" I was like, "This is lies." They're like, "What you talking about?" I was like, "Yo, man, like I went to Marcus Garvey Shule, man. Like we wasn't taught this." I was like, my interpretation of your kind is that y'all was kind of like in the caves and stuff, and like we came over and civilized y'all, like Hannibal, right? So like, Mr. Hankins, get out of here. They said, you know that type of stuff. So you know, when I used to hit them with my snarkyism, they didn't care for it.
Yeah.
And it just set me right off onto that road of getting D's and F's when I got to high school. Like I came in as a A/B student, but I was a horrible test taker, so I wound up in University City. I learned into the G League of education. I couldn't make it to the pros with the Centrals and all them. I went to the G League. So yeah, I kind of didn't get a chance to really explore things. But in university, I did get opportunities to try to go to like Penn and Drexel, something. But I didn't get along with none of my teachers. They didn't look like the teachers I was used to, and they didn't speak my language. You know what I mean? So when I would be in there, it was a lot for me. Like it was, and then on top of going from a school with 60 people to 2,000
Oh
people,
yeah.
Yeah.
like that kind of
That's
that changed my
yeah,
life. Like
yeah.
I wasn't really into fashion and stuff. Like when I got to high school, I was like, I come walking through fashion with my stuff on from Clovers, and I learned like, oh, this ain't gonna get it no more. Like I was like, oh, I got my stuff is cute. And they like,
Yep.
Yeah.
like no, buddy, that shit out of here. You need some $100 sneakers. I'm like, my dad can't afford $100 sneakers, but you know, so from there I've made some very bad decisions and all that good stuff, and you know, life
It
goes.
changes, yeah. I didn't have a white teacher until I was in the ninth grade.
Me too.
I didn't like, and I all that stuff shape and mold you. So between that and my dad and the way our family was,
Yes.
like, I was like, oh, this how they do things.
Yeah.
I like
yeah.
it was all news to me.
Yeah. I mean, I got away with a lot more when I got in the public school system because I saw, even though I was in the magnet program, they didn't, like at the school I came from, if I didn't do my homework, they called my dad. Like my homework. If I got anything lower than like a B, they called my dad. So that was my inspiration to always get good grades. So then when I get to this new place, they don't care what I do. So I discovered cutting, hooking, all this other stuff that I would never had tried if I was in the same system. So like with me, education would have to be like, it would have had to been something like somebody really got to be forcing it to me or teaching me a different way because I learned different. I learned as I got older.
Yeah.
I learned different. I don't learn like everybody else. I learned different, you know. But it was pretty good beginning. I like this. This is flowing pretty good. So let's go on, get up here to Dope Botanicals.
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
So how did y'all decide to do this store that you do?
Wow. Dope Botanicals has been a journey. It wasn't.
Okay.
What it is today is a lot of years of refining and fine tuning. We were doing a lot of, our story begins, we were doing a lot of Bikram yoga.
Yeah.
Bikram yoga.
Yeah.
My people ain't that smart. What's Bikram yoga?
So,
It's hot yoga.
Hot yoga?
It's hot yoga.
but it's true yoga.
It's very true.
It's
It's
not
really good.
acrobatics,
It's not
it's yoga.
acrobatics. It's not just somebody in there being like, "Oh, I'm flexible. I could put my
So a
leg
lot of
behind my
meditation
head."
and-
Or
Yeah.
faux spirituality.
Yeah.
It's none of that.
It's none of
It's
that.
real live, a
Concentrating.
system for the
Yes.
body
Restorative.
that like gets you right.
It's excellent. You do 26 postures twice, right? And it's the same class every time. So Bikram, like one of the things is it's the 26 and 2. The only thing that changes is you. Because the you yesterday might not be able to do what you can today
So every day
do.
you've been more.
Yeah, or maybe you could
Or
do
been
less.
less.
Or maybe less.
Or maybe less because
Yeah.
it was a hard day at work and like
All I could do was
all
stand
you
here
can
today.
do is just stretch and lift your arms above your head the best you can.
So y'all was going to a specific place or your
Yeah.
guys? just
Yeah,
doing-
we were doing Bikram yoga in West Philly.
Yeah.
And we loved it. We did
It's our favorite.
a lot of classes a day. I mean, we were just there all the time.
all the time.
And somehow we got into a conversation about foods, the way we eat, and plant-based foods. And Leo, who owned the studio, says to us, "Well, if somebody would cook vegan food for me, I would eat it."
Yeah.
And we were like, "We gonna bring you some food."
He
next
said,
time
"We'll
we
bring you some food."
He was like, "Yeah, y'all should bring me some food." So we brought him some food.
We brought him some food, and then he was like, "Y'all should be selling this food." We was like, "What? For real?"
He was like, "Yeah, see that refrigerator over there? We can have grab and go meals." And we were like, "Okay, bet." I don't know what possessed us to
I
do
don't
that.
know.
Knowing we were already
don't know.
busy, we had a lot of other things going on, but we said, "Okay, all right, we'll do it."
Yeah.
So we start this we start stocking the fridge with meals, and we don't
have a
halfway
little
do
meal
anything.
line.
What year is this?
What year was that?
I could check in my phone.
Go ahead, check
Let
in
me
your phone.
see.
I
I'm
like
gonna
I like
check.
to have years.
I
I
could
like
check.
was
I
that?
could check.
I mean, we started, and it was, we don't do anything halfway. So we went all in.
2016.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
2016. There's a
Yeah.
picture. We are excited to start seeing vegan meals lovingly prepared by our friends, Beans and Brains.
Yeah.
And we had like a little lunch party for the food where we had testers and everything at the yoga
Oh,
studio.
that's dope. Okay.
And then it started, and then we took over the juicing program.
Yup. So then we started juicing because our juice was better.
Didn't the people that were selling the juice?
Yeah, it was good.
So then next thing you know,
It was organic.
yeah,
It wasn't watered down.
It wasn't
right?
watered
We don't
down.
put no water in the juice.
It was in glass jars, all the things we like.
That's why I brought y'all glass
Yes,
bottle
we
waters.
love glass.
Yeah,
We
yeah, I
love
did that.
glass
Me
bottles.
personally, I'm drinking out of plastic. I can't afford three glasses. But
We
but,
love
I,
glass
but, I, but I
bottles.
know who you guys are, so I make sure I bring you some glass.
Actually.
Yeah, no problem.
So
yeah.
that happened, and we kept going, and then it started growing, and it was getting a little bigger, and then something happened where teachers approached us because they can't leave during the day. So we started doing meal delivery at like a school and this, and
Then it was all by text message, and everybody had my phone number.
Yes.
And I would put the text out and say, "Get your
Just
orders
the
in
menu.
by this time."
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
1 minute behind, we was not.
No.
No, sorry.
No.
So then
You
people
gotta
would
know.
they would say, "Could I please get a number to this person or this person?" We'd be like, "Okay," but they have to cut off by the date, and that was it, and we would just send out the menu and cut it off. And it became like a thing. And one day
thing.
we were sitting on the couch.
And we were cooking. We had meals. We was buying all this stuff.
It was heavy.
40-pound cases of cucumbers and apples because we was also juicing. It was just a lot. And then we sat on the couch one day.
And I said, "I'm tired. Aren't you
I
tired?"
was like, I'm tired.
And we was like, "We done."
Y'all
That
shut
was
it down
it.
just like that?
Yeah.
tired. It was
Yeah,
too
you gotta
much.
know
Man,
when to
hire
hold them,
somebody.
know when to fold them.
They just hired somebody.
We couldn't do it because it was
Y'all
too
doing it out the
much.
house,
and
like
we had
type thing?
other stuff.
Doing it out
Yeah,
the
we had
house?
other
Yeah.
stuff going on, and we just couldn't.
And the
We couldn't
other
do
thing
it.
was like when you, like we like to do things creatively, right? And when you start mass
When
producing
it's become a
things,
system, yeah, I
it
got
does,
you.
and people like what they like. And
Gotcha.
I understand that. And at one point, people just kept wanting this lasagna we make, and we was like, well, how many times
You make
can
more
you?
than lasagna.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they would buy that too, but they still wanted the lasagna.
So you
And
mean to
it
tell
was
me y'all discovered
crazy.
the Whopper and y'all stopped making the Whopper?
Yes.
Yeah, and people who know that we cook or used to cook for people, they will come in sometimes into the shop
And
and
they
they go, "I
ask.
remember y'all."
Yep, and people still remember
They
and be
do.
like,
They
"I
remember.
still make food." We be like, nope,
No, not at all.
nope,
Not at
no,
all.
we don't.
And when you see all these other vegan places, what do you think? You be
Some
like,
are some trash.
Yeah,
it's
it's a lot of nasty stuff
well,
out
I
there.
don't want to highlight the trash people. Let's the good people. Let's give me like 3 good people that you may like in the
Oh,
city.
where you could eat reliably?
Yeah.
You can go to
All the Way
Live off of Germantown Avenue.
Sister Bev, that's our
Yes,
number one.
That's number one.
Sister
You
Bev,
can go
what
there.
That's it, Sister
Yeah,
Bev.
and right
Yeah.
now for us, that's it.
That's it. So Sister Bev.
Yeah, All the Way
Live.
Live is her restaurant.
Mhm.
That's number one for us.
That's in Germantown.
Yeah.
And what was the other one?
Do we have
I
another
did.
one right
Oh, you
now?
only
We
got
like
one.
We like
Pietramala.
Pietramala.
Yeah,
They're
Pietramala
decent.
on 2nd Street.
Yeah, but All the Way Live is black owned.
Yep.
Okay.
Sister Bev has been. Oh, y'all should interview her.
Yeah, she would be
She was a
excellent.
raw foodist for over 40 years.
Well, can you help me get the interview?
Yeah,
with her?
yeah.
Well, help
for
me get
sure.
the interview.
We're going to talk
Okay.
to her.
Yeah.
It would be a phenomenal conversation about health, about wellness, about
She's been
raising
in the
your
life.
children in raw foods. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
there's a synergy that we always have with Sister Bev because when you've grown up in a thing, it's a different level of, no, I mean this when I say it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's no like, not today. I was a vegan last week, or I was a.
Yeah, I don't have so good self-discipline, so that's like my problem.
Okay,
That's why
we're gonna work on it.
I'm vegan like probably 2030. And I mean, I changed. I fell off. And honestly, we was talking about it before the cameras came on. Like when I was young, vegan was horrible. Like
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody. I got people now that's vegan now gonna tell me that vegan always been good in the spices, and I know that they ain't been vegan as long as I was. I swear to God, everything was either like a tofu, or carrot tuna, or
Yes.
or Kush.
Yes.
I remember
Yes.
eating before Kush was weed. Kush was actually a
That's
meal.
right.
It was a
Yes.
grain.
That's right.
It was a grain that you ate.
Yes.
And
Yep.
on
Bulgur
pita-
wheat.
on-
Bulgur
yeah,
wheat.
yeah.
Yep.
And it would be on pita, and hopefully somebody put that good white sauce on it, that garlic sauce.
the
If it wasn't
heat,
on
yes.
it, if that sauce wasn't
Dry,
on it, it was.
choking.
Dry.
It was. Oh
Dry.
my God!
Dry.
Oh my God!
Dry.
Choking.
Yeah, somebody help me, Jesus! Yeah.
Dry.
But
yeah.
what's funny is we talk about all the time the word vegan wasn't even for real.
Nope.
There
Nope.
was no
No, it
word
was no-
vegan.
there was no word
You were a
vegan, no.
strict vegetarian.
That's it.
Boom.
If
That's
you
all it was.
omitted dairy products, you were a strict vegetarian. But the
Cheeseless
word
cheese noodles.
vegan,
I'll
right?
never forget
And you
that.
have to be careful with that word too. We don't even use it in the shop, but I guess we'll come back. We'll finish off our Dope Botanical story. So I guess after a while, we started kicking around the idea of this could be something, but what is it? Because people would come to us for help, advice, and a lot of different things, and I was like, there's something there.
Well, yeah, and we also became health coaches, right? So we
Yes.
started learning through doing meals that is people need help with more. It's not just about, oh, I don't know what to eat. Like you don't know how to cook your food at home appropriately.
And you don't know how to make it taste good.
And you don't know how to make it taste good.
Spices.
And like once you omit meat, you don't know how to even structure your plate to be okay, right?
True.
So we started going through that, and it's like, oh man, it's something here. So then we started doing some cooking classes, and we were like, okay, we'll do cooking classes because maybe we could just show people how you should prepare things so it can be better, right? How you add spices, how you can spice these vegetables with the same vigor that you spice meat, right? The key is that you missing spice and love and all that good stuff in your food. Like nobody's eating a bowl of steamed plain stuff. Like you just
I swear
not
that
gonna
was
be
in
okay.
the 80s, boy. That was the 80s. Just take these veggies and shut up.
That's it.
To the
But
point.
like now you know, like you don't have to do that. So we, through like learning and cooking the food and working with people, we learned that was a part of the missing component. And health coaching and teaching is something that we love to do. So we kind of figured that part out, and then like later on, it was
so
like,
we went to be
what we
certified
gonna
health
do?
coaches.
Yeah, so then we became health coaches
Okay.
because we like to, you know,
Solidify our knowledge.
anything we
So
do.
the things that we have that we come to the table with is one thing, right? And then we say, oh, what else can we do, right? So we did that portion of it, and one day I'm always full of these wild ideas or things I think that we could accomplish.
Always.
And I said, you know what? We need to create an herbal product line.
So that's exactly what Dope Botanicals is. It's actually
Yeah.
herbal.
Yeah, we didn't
Okay.
have a name for it. We were just at the whiteboard. And I said, well, what could it be called? What could it be called? And my sister's like, well, we make Dope Botanicals. I said, we sure do. That's the name. And that was it. And it stuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was really solidifying all the other things that we grew up learning, all the things we did at home anyway for wellness needs.
Okay.
So, and that
And I
was
said, I'm going to go formalize my herbal knowledge.
Yep. And then you went to herb school.
So I did that, like just formalizing everything so that we could really create products that work, like getting deep into the plants. But the plants are an abundance of knowledge and wisdom and intuition. And the deeper we go, the more layers there are to uncover.
It's like diving in religion, huh?
It is. It is. I mean, it is, right? Because the plants, they are gods of their world. So as you work with the plants, you start to see different things, or, you know, I don't know. They tell you what it is, what you need, what has to happen. And we thought, well, how can we make this manifest? Like, what could it look like? And we thought, I think it looks like a store. So people would say, oh, well, why don't you do pop? That's not our style, right?
We don't do pop-ups.
We don't do pop. We going all the way in.
Yeah.
We taking the big bet. You know what I'm saying?
Or like you should start
downtown.
start at farmers markets, and people would say that stuff. It's like,
That's not how. I mean,
No, I ain't lugging no case around trying to have a cooler. Child, please. We ain't doing that. We ain't even built like that. We'll quit that. Like, that's not gonna work.
That'll make us quit real quick.
Real quick.
So we knew, and we always knew, although people, like during the time of like talking about things, people would be like, oh, well, you know, just go online, go online. But we knew we wanted interactions with people. We wanted to be able to interact.
The personality of your guy is definitely selling. Like, it's a definitely selling personality. So I understand, like, both of y'all together, I can see it makes more sense to come into actually have a consultation with you.
Yeah, so we always wanted to talk with people. We wanted that human element. We didn't just want it to be online. So we always knew that.
And we thought it was missing.
And we feel like it's necessary for people to
And we wanted to create the herb store that we wanted to shop at.
Yes.
So we knew that it had to be decent. It was going to be like music playing, all kinds of music playing.
I like that Wu-Tang. I see the
Yes,
Wu-Tang
always there's going to be some Wu-Tang in it. It's going to feel like that. It's not going to be like people with hairy underarms that stink, with drop crotch pants, you know, trying to tell you, and we want to be peace sister, peace bro. Well, that's not our true personalities,
who we
right?
are.
So we wanted it to be a reflection of us that we thought would sell stuff to the people without hype, right? Good quality work.
Without all that fluff.
No fluff, but great intention.
Yeah, and you don't have to be that for it to be real.
No, you don't.
You wearing your drop crotch pants don't let you know more than me. Like
You're
that's,
trying too
that's
hard.
just whatever
You're
style
trying
you
too hard.
decided to go into.
And we didn't want to have a white perspective, right? So we have our voice or our point of view in wellness in the herbal world, and we felt like it was missing.
Yeah.
Because even some of the black people in wellness are trying to be white.
So did you guys ever go to Dr. Wyatt or anything like that growing
Yes.
up? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Pen Herb growing up? Like the old Pen Herb, not the new Pen Herb?
A little bit, but we
I had stores out in West Philly and Southwest.
we went to Dr. Wyatt's, and it was the guy who owned it before Dr. Wyatt.
Okay.
That's the herb store that I remember more than Penn Herbs because it was in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
that
see,
we
I
were
was
in.
more of a Pen Herb, but before Pen Herb looked like it looked
Before
like
it
now.
was big, yeah,
And
when it was
dusty
small.
Pen Herb, when you were going in, it felt like you was going to like a crack house. It was,
Yes.
it was very dusty.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I mean, like
dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, extremely dark. Like it was dark.
I like for the life of me, I never understand why when you walk in the herb store, it's like going in a closet. It's so dark, and it's like I'm supposed to feel better, but I'm walking into a cave.
Well, you gotta think about technology and stuff back then, right? Just what you
even
had access
now,
to.
Even now, a
it's
lot
an
of those places
aesthetic
feel
that
gross.
people
Yeah,
feel
they
like
associate it with wellness.
you get closer to wellness or the earth.
You know what's crazy?
Like
Because
some of it is
Dr. Wyatt
aesthetic.
John is dark.
It's dark.
Pretty dark.
It's
Yeah,
Dark
it was
woods.
dark.
It's
Yeah,
an
it is dark.
aesthetic,
Yeah.
right? It's gonna be
I never
all.
even-
It's gonna be
never even thought about
wooden.
that.
It's because it's natural.
Yes. Even the health food is all dark. All of it. It just be so dark. And we be like, you know, we're going to paint every wall in here white. We're going to
Yeah, I had
brighten it
time for
up.
that.
We're going to do that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's so dark.
So yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing of being in you guys was in the industry. I didn't even know you was in the industry. So by
Yeah.
being in that, see, I come from that same thing back when I was younger, and it wasn't an attractive lifestyle to me when I was younger. Meaning that when I was young, you know, my dad was very militant, so you know, I couldn't really play around and stuff. So when I was young, I really had to go. So, like, like some of my summers when Temple was a black university in North Philly, not Temple owns North Philly and it's a white university now, but I'm talking back in the day when it was really 2 projects in Temple, like 4
Yeah.
blocks.
Yeah.
They had a lot of classes out there, and they did a lot of stuff for black people, a lot of classes, and
Yeah. We
like
went to
the
AFNA every summer.
exactly. So I wasn't in AFNA because I could never get accepted to that stuff, but like if you ever remember the African American Festival, first time it happened was like in 1980 something. Well,
Yes.
on a commercial that played on the radio, that's me and my brother singing on that commercial. African American Festival. That's us singing that on that. Yeah, like, and if I really go back, like on Channel 10, we was actually on that. So like it's pictures of me and my youth with my dashikis, the real dashikis, not the freaky dashikis, but the real ones. And then and then I got my red, black, and green, the RBG, like all that stuff. My pop really had us and all that. But then when I would go to when I go see like Mile Long and Karenga, Jawanzik and Juice, see those guys speak, I've been there looking at them and I was like, I ain't really feeling these dudes though. Like, I mean, I felt what they were saying because what they were saying was crazy, and the way they spoke, I did like that. But the thing about it is, like I said, when you come out of there and I'm walking down the block, the temptation of seeing this crew down here with 10 Benzes and the cell phones, the big cell phones, and I'm seeing this crew, and I'm like, man, Dad, I don't know. I can't tell my dad like, hey man, I think I just got hit with the bug. I think, but I couldn't explain it to him. But I into my core, who I was always like a Pan-African. I understood the struggle and everything. But like I got hit with that bug at a young age, and once I got hit by the bug, and then my mom and dad broke apart. So once that happened, man, I took some crazy turns in my life. But to the core, I was in that. So when I was in it though, it just didn't look decent to me though. Like I'm like, well, who making the money? That's because when you're young and you're always trying to figure out like where the money at. Me personally, like I just want to know like where the money at in this. It's not like now. See, like now it's like a whole.
It's an industry.
Yeah, it's industry. It wasn't an industry back in the day. It was really more so like it was like a system, like bartering system almost. Like you know what I mean. So like I said, I used to be in like Temple in the summertime eating Kush sandwiches and hoping I had the garlic sauce on it. Because if I didn't, I was choking all week. Like man, I'm gonna get me some McDonald's. This go down way better than that. I'm gonna get me some fries. Like, and I had to sneak and get the fries. If my pop caught me eating and stuff, I had trouble. You know what I mean? So I understand like where y'all come from, and like you said, I never really thought about it, but yeah, it was dark. All them joints was dark.
All of them.
That's funny. So you was in that industry for all these years, so now you have a chance to actually make it the way you want to make it.
Yeah.
So then you guys add the lights, add the white walls, and what's been like your biggest hurdle? Because your company obviously, like, did you start before COVID or after COVID?
People
As far
keep
as Dope
telling us
Botanicals.
we was
People
kind
tell
of
us it was kind of in COVID.
But we felt like it was
we was over it.
Yeah.
So it was, when was this?
November 27th,
2021 is when we had our opening day for the store.
I see why they were saying,
Yeah, but we was over it, so because we
Yeah.
was ready to go.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so we did that, and but in between that, we looked for space for about 5 years.
yeah, we had looked for
For real?
space for a long.
Yeah, we looked for space for a long
So
time.
COVID probably helped y'all out because a lot of people started, losing their leases during COVID.
Well, the company that was there prior to this location, she decided to close. She had 3 locations.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have been looking a lot, and to be honest with you, people are like getting over a lot of these developers or people,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and so we knew
You knew the price point and everything you wanted?
kind of
Yeah,
yes
like
and no.
yes and no. We knew the price point, but it all depends, right? So sometimes the crazy thing about Philly is that the prices, they range and then they don't. Because sometimes they'll offer you all these things for a location where you be like, but where the people at? Where they at?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
no
where the
foot traffic.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Or it's not your customer.
It's not
It's
your
not the people
customer.
who are going to purchase from you every day.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of work to have somebody get up out their bed,
Yes.
especially in this day of online shopping,
Yeah, and come
and
into
come
the store.
People don't even buy their own
into a
groceries no
store
more.
and purchase something. So we knew that what we wanted to create was, 1, an experience, and 2, products that nobody else had, right?
Okay.
So in our store, our product line is our own. You only find it at Dope Botanicals.
So everything y'all have is actually Dope Botanical products?
Yes, because we
Yes.
make everything.
So y'all bag
So
up everything?
Yes.
Y'all cap up everything?
We
Yes.
mix, blend, sift, and
Y'all
extract
are real
everything.
live hustlers.
So
Yeah.
these are all of our recipes,
Yeah.
right? These are all of our formulas. These are all of our things. You can only get that at Dope Botanicals.
Yeah.
Pioneer Elite Care is committed to treating each individual with dignity and respect. We take pride in providing quality care to those who require assistance at home. Contact us now.
Excellence is our standard. Excellence is the rule. Never the exception.
PioneerEliteCare.com